Well, I just dragged Anita Baker by her feet to get my lighter. Episode 146. Fire. Baby cat is up here, so if all this equipment falls down, it means that she has tripped over everything. I don't know why she's so needy today. I think because I was gone too long. I know. Even Chapo's being extra sweet. Where was I? Cape Cod, Massachusetts. The Cape Cod Melody Tent. Now, I'm not usually one to be excited to be in a tent or in the round. Right. But it turned out to be great. Cool. It was actually super cool. Like, I want to do it again as soon as possible. Cool. Hopefully meaning next summer. Mm-hmm. We were pretty much sold out. Everybody was so nice. I got to meet Kate Madigan, an assistant general manager of the New Jersey Devils. Nice. Hockey, if you're not a sports person. Her dad, Jim, which is my uncle's name, Jim Madigan, athletic director at Northeastern. He was really fun, and her mom. And then my brother Joe came, and his wife, and the kids, and I think his 20-something, my nephews, may have eaten Melissa Etheridge's donuts. Now, this is why it's confusing with the rock people, though. I bring in my purse and bar napkins with words on it. That's all I have. Kelly McFarland was the opener. So funny. She's a comedian, too. I mean, on her own. She doesn't always just be an opening act, but she likes to go on the road when she can. And Kelly shows up with a purse, and that's it. Great. We don't have any requirements. Melissa Etheridge was performing the following night in the tent, and her people had to get there at 7 a.m. to start. Yeah, I'm like, I would quit. This is too much work. Right. I mean, I don't think she's getting there at 7. I think those weren't her personal donuts. Someone had clearly set up the green room for the next thing. Right. And because I was like, donuts. That's weird. I didn't think about people getting there.
It's 10 o'clock
Yeah,
at night.
it's 10 o'clock at night. Why are there glazed donuts in a thing from a thing? But anyway, great crowd. And so much. I'm drinking a Cape Cod beer, and I got to go see in Cape Cod, on Cape Cod, whatever. Look, this is my Miss Richfield 1981 bobblehead, because his show was so funny. Him and I should say her and Dame Edna. Yep. My all-time favorites because they're funny.
Favorite what?
Drag queens. Yeah, he's a drag queen. She's a drag queen. Sorry if I keep fucking that up. Because, I like a drag brunch. It's fun because the music's fun and everybody's lip-syncing and it's just high energy. Uh-huh. But if I'm going to go see the whole show, I'd rather it be funny. Right. And Miss Richfield, so funny. And I saw my funny friend Judy Gold.
Great.
Yeah, she did a show, too. Cool. So I got to see that, which was super fun. And so many things came back through the tent. And it was so weird because when I walk out of the area they give me, I'm just with people around the tent.
Going to the circus.
Yeah, well, they're just like, hey, can we get a picture? I'm like, sure, where am I? Okay, sure, you can get a picture. You get all the pictures you want. Everybody was very, very, very nice. And Kelly was super hilarious. Go see Kelly on her own. Go do Kelly McFarland. You can find her online, no problem. Schnotes. We'll put it in the Schnotes. Very, very funny. And she had a bunch of new stuff that was so funny. And I had some new jokes, too, so that was super fun. This is the weirdest thing ever, before I get into anything. This is my Cape Cod beer, though. It's called Mindbender American Pale Ale. It's got a little lobster on it. But before I go back to that, so I think I said on this podcast, I voted for a councilman in Nashville. He's nonpartisan. The councilmen don't run as Republicans or Democrats. And I briefly looked him up because his 85-year-old mother called me.
What?
She called my cell phone. I don't know how she got my cell phone. And she's like, well, good afternoon. And I was like, hello. And she's like, I'm Sherrard Eddington's mama. I'm calling from Alabama. I'm 82 or 85 or something. And I wanted to know if you would vote for him. I said, sure. I never heard, but I didn't even pay attention who was running for Metro Council because I've been gone so long and not focused. And so I did. And I went up and I voted for him. And there were two of his people, two women outside. And I said, I talked to his mother. Yeah. I almost didn't answer the phone because it said Alabama. And I was like, well, it could be my friend Vic Henley's family members, and there's more than, I do know enough people in Alabama, but usually you'd be on my phone. But I'm like, well, whatever. Yeah. And I answered it. And so I went and voted for him. Yep. And I tweeted a picture to him and said, I did it. I couldn't find your mama. Mama wasn't at that polling place. She was somewhere else. Listen to this letter he sent back. This guy went to Yale. And he just looks so friendly. He's a pastor of some sort. I really should have done more research before I just randomly vote for people. But I liked his mom. She was hilarious. She's like, now, if you see him, you need to tell him I need a name tag because I want people to know if I've spoken to them that I'm his mama. And so I tweeted him, you better get your mama a name tag. She's highly pissed off about this.
You got 12 hours.
Yeah. He sent me, he said, Kathleen, your tweet about my Alabama mama's call to you was a high point of Election Day, if not my entire campaign. I'm a fan of your comedy through the Bob and Tom show. That's a shout out back. Oh. Yeah. Your USO tour stories is one of my favorites. My mother, an old liberal, which from Alabama, came up from Mobile August 3rd for the election. She wanted to help me campaign. I told her the best thing she could do to make calls to people who had not yet voted. I printed a list and saw your name and thought, hey, this person has the same name as that comedian. Little did I know. Then that night I checked Twitter and saw you tweeted about my mom, and I got so excited. Sorry I wasn't at the poll when you voted. Listen to this. The young woman you met is Masuda. She fled Afghanistan when the Taliban took over, and she's lived with us for the past while. Long story. And has became our second daughter. She works at Walmart. She's about to start her second year in nursing school. Amazing young woman.
Cool.
Anyway, he said, thanks for a great laugh on Election Day.
That's great.
Well, I'm going to follow this man's career no matter where he goes. I'm going to stalk Sherrard Eddington.
Nice.
That was just sweet to take the time. You didn't have to. You could have just. This is where, though, I think he's not old, but, like, he's not, you could have just tweeted me back.
No.
This is sweet.
That's way
It's
better.
got stationery.
Yes.
Yeah. It's adorable.
Yes.
So note to other people running, if you have a funny mom,
Put her up.
put her on the phones. Yeah. I don't even know how they have my number. It was correct, though.
Because you were registered.
Because I'm a registered voter, but why would they have my cell phone?
Because it's in your records.
I don't believe that.
Okay.
Well,
let the Canadian tell you.
first I'm going to start with, this is like, it's probably the company I love so much out of Iowa. They make the funny maps and stuff. So this is a map of New England.
Uh-huh.
And they've got...
Somebody brought that to you, right?
Yeah, where Montreal is, it just says the French. They don't even care. New Brunswick, it says, what is this? Nova Scotia, Trailer Park Boys. This is how they're identifying. It's New England stereotype map. Maine, it's got Stephen King, lobsters and lighthouses. And then Northern Maine, it said, no civilization, people eat each other. Furthest you could go with Maine, it says wicked cold. Vermont, hippie college students and Bernie Sanders. Maple syrup, superior to Canada, cows in the hills.
Oh.
I know, well, that's what they're saying. New Hampshire, the south of the north. Cheap booze and fireworks. Massachusetts, they got Boston, center of the universe. Then below that, free Tom Brady. Below that, cranberry bags. They've got all of Connecticut, quote, on probation. And then they've got Rhode Island, I think it's Rhode Island, as just criminals. And then New York, they just have marked as evil.
Evil.
And then outside of the force field, everything's non-existent. It's just so funny because I think this is how people who don't, I never know where I'm at in the Northeast. I do, and I like it all, but I don't really know where I'm at. No. So many things came backstage. It's just some quick shout-outs, and then we're going to move on. There were so many funny things, too. Patty and Joe, they brought back a bunch of beer. I got a bunch of beer, some greenies for the cats. The cats are so excited. They haven't had the salmon flavor. Oh. Yeah, some goldfish. Very, very nice.
They also brought you we'll show it next week. Your hot sauce pajamas.
Oh, my hot sauce pajamas. Yeah, I couldn't get through it this week, but
next week you can wear them.
This one, the lobster cad is missing. But all this stuff came backstage, and they were not going to take it at the box office, and I apologize for that. But somebody tweeted me they're not taking stuff, so we got that straightened out.
Yeah.
That you can bring stuff if you want. I probably would not bring food you made. No. Because they will freak out about that. I'm like, nobody's trying to kill me.
Do we need to test this, Miss Madigan?
I know. Do we need to test this? It's cheesecake. I think we're good. I think we're fine. This is from Ann and Tara. They want to know my favorite bar in Cleveland because they're going. It's the Harbor Inn. It's down in the Flats.
So fun.
Don't expect a lot. I mean, just saying. It's a dive bar. It's got the old-timey bowling machine where you get the brown ball and it goes and cuts over the rivets. Try to go in the day. It won't be as crowded. That's all I'm saying. Eat first. They don't have food.
No.
It's like an old fisherman's.
It's great.
Yeah. This was the Pils Nerd Lager, and I gave a lot of the beer. I tried to taste them all to my nephews.
You didn't give it to them.
Well, they just drank it. I know. I got off stage and I'm like, you guys couldn't save me one Mick Ultra. God damn it. I'm like, where? And my brother's like, yeah, I think they depleted your supply. I'm like, that is totally fine, but you got to save me one. You know how hot it was in that tent? Yes, you were in the tent. It was hot as shit. This person has the most perfect handwriting I've ever seen. Nancy and Rick. It's like perfect. Or is this printed? No, this is someone's handwriting.
Yeah.
They brought me the Miss Richfield bobblehead.
So great.
Yeah, and some wine and Cape beer and Cape chips. Anything, you just got to go see Miss Richfield. And it's not, Miss Richfield performs everywhere. Yep. So you can go.
Put it in the schnotes.
Put it in the schnotes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This one's a long one too. This is from Lisa. Lisa, I got awesome beers. These chips, which I'll be tasting, these are Wise from Boston.
They're so good.
That's the other thing. North of Boston on that map, they just have witches for Salem. I've been to Salem. It's an adorable town. You should all go. These are Wise onion and garlic.
Delicious.
Dangerously good. Berwick, PA. They're from Berwick, Pennsylvania. I thought they were from Boston. Pennsylvania. Well,
I like the owl. The owl logo.
oh, I didn't even notice that was an owl.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
Wise.
those are A+. I just gotta get those away from me.
Yay.
Jill and Sarah brought beer, the Stony Creek beer. Oh yeah, and the Clydesdale coasters. So thank you for that. I got that.
Can I
give
have
some-
one?
You can have one of the coasters. You can pick. There's
Thank you.
4. Yes.
Yeah. They did them
Melissa.
They did them by the order on them.
More Cape Cod beer came backstage, and I did give some to Kelly for her husband Eric. He loves a good IPA.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, my nephews wouldn't drink the hot ones.
Right. Saved you one egg, cat.
Yeah. Do you have any more beer? I just got off stage. I don't know if there's more beer. Go buy one out front. It was from Janet and Rosemary. They're sisters. Cape Cod has more sharks than any other place in the world, according to National Geographic. Their food seals have overpopulated. I've read that. They've tried to bring the seal population back. And I did get out there to kayak. And I thought, and they brought me a shark puppet too. It's hilarious. Yes. I should have probably thought harder about getting in that kayak. And I started to get real nervous.
Yeah.
Well, because in the beginning it's not deep. I can see the bottom. I'm like, this is fine. I'll just tool along here. And then I was going out to the lighthouse, and then it started getting deeper, and then I started having super paranoid thoughts in my head. But they're probably not paranoid. They were probably valid. I turned around.
There's a fin
Yeah.
right there.
Like, dum, 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 dum. Yeah, I did. And then, but the kid, when I left, he goes, let me know if you see any seals or sharks. I'm like, oh, are you serious? I think he very much was serious. And then I thought, is this a way to die? This is stupid.
Yeah.
But it looks so inviting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Saltwater's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly and Kim brought me potato chips, great beers, got those. Beers from Syracuse. This lady prefers the Guinness or vodka, but she had everything something that said Syracuse on it. Love the Pubcast.
We're
Thank
gonna
you.
taste that next week.
And last but not least, there's probably even more I'll do. I would have a tough time packing it all in a great way. This is the girl I met that I gave a high five to when I got off stage. Because when you go down in the tent, you're passing everybody, and then when you it was kind of fun. Like she had a Cardinals tank top on.
Yeah.
But I never get to, like when I leave stage, I just go by, and then I run off into the darkness. But you're running back through the people. I felt like a baseball player. Yeah, I felt like I just hit a home run or something, and I'm just going through, and yay, it was super fun. She had a rough time, but everything's turning around for her. So I'm glad to hear that. That was Wendy.
Cool. Cool.
So high five, shout out, Wendy. I'm glad everything's getting better in your life, and I'm glad you love the Pubcast. Now, thank you, termites, all of you Massachusetts and wherever else you came from to make it to Hyannis.
Yes.
How'd
you like driving the Cape?
I did not like driving the Cape, and I'll tell you why. Okay. I wanted to take, but see, this is again a Midwestern person's not having knowledge. I should have called Kelly. Kelly knows everything about the Northeast. She would have told me. It was a frustrating drive. There's a lot of traffic. So the whole idea of, I'm going to drive Cape Cod, because I've never driven it. I've always taken the ferry, or one time I flew there in Cape Air or something. I wasn't comfortable with that because I know everybody's lying about their weight.
Because you start at P-Town and come down, right?
Yeah, P-Town's the northernmost tip, and then you can come all the way down. But when you're coming from Boston, you're coming up the other way. And the traffic was just... like, you'd have to just get out there and stay for a couple weeks, or you're going to get really frustrated. Like, I just couldn't, and then it goes down to one lane, and you're like, what the fuck? Why couldn't we fix, I don't understand during COVID why we didn't fix all these road problems.
Right.
Some people did. Some people worked on stuff. By the way, Kate Madigan bought me Cape Cod cranberry candy. It's dark chocolate covered cranberries.
Nice, really good.
Wow.
I like it cranberry.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah. It's a little sweet for me.
Well, you gotta taste your other chips.
What?
Your other chips.
Oh, these are Cape Cod chips. Yeah, but I think they serve these on Delta.
A termite left those.
A termite left them? Oh, sweet and spicy jalapeno?
Yep.
That can't be all bad. Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Great.
They're quite spicy. Wow. Very spicy. I think I'd stick with the wise onion and garlic. Wow. Wow.
Did you have lobster out there?
Oh my God, I had lobster rolls, clam chowder,
Where'd you eat?
all of it. I ate at the Lobster Pot, which is why I have this glass right here. That's famous. Yeah. But there's also other places that are just as good, I think. I like it.
That picture you sent me of that bar was fun. Looked fun.
Which bar?
It had low ceilings. I don't know. The old colony.
Oh, the old colony. Yeah. They have like old fishermen's bars on the strip. They're super dark in the day. Yep. It's for night drinking, but yeah, I went over there.
I'm gonna go.
And to wait for Miss Richfield to say hi. Yeah.
She came drinking with you?
Well, she doesn't drink.
Right.
I
had a drink.
Yeah, she came over. Yeah, it was great.
That's nice.
Yeah, because I hadn't even said I was coming. I just showed up. Yep. Okay, moving on, people. I think. Oh, I went to the Jaws Bridge too in Martha's Vineyard. Now I took a ferry to Martha's Vineyard because that's the only way we'd get there unless you had a plane.
I saw your video.
And the movie. Remember when the shark in Jaws, the original Jaws, he goes into the pond and eats a guy?
Yeah.
And then they realize the kids are in the pond.
Yep.
Well, that's the bridge so it's famous. I was a total tourist. I landed in Oakville where all the ferries land, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a Jaws t-shirt. Like, it's all speaking to me. Like, I'm like, well, yes, I need a hoodie that says Martha Vineyard. Where's Carly's Fiber? Does James Taylor ever come here? I thought he bought 170 acres. Yeah, I am the ultimate. I should have had Kelly stay and go for that, but she had to get home. Yeah. Well, she has a family, but can't you be my tour guide for a day? Yes, you can, Kelly. Yes, you can. She would have done it. Okay, we're moving on. Queen news. Well, we'll start with the good news first.
Okay.
Because I didn't get the number on this right. Well, I didn't get it at all until I reread it when I said that Taylor Swift. Yes, before she left Santa Clara, I told you she made a donation to the food bank. Yeah. They wouldn't reveal the amount, but they said it was enough to feed 500,000 people per month for a year.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy. Good for her. Good for the youngsters out there doing something. Now, Queen Stevie, however, Queen Stevie posted a post about Lahaina, which is obviously very, very sad. Mm-hmm. And the post, I get it. I get what I think she was trying to say, but it didn't really come out. that good. It kind of came out, I don't know, entitled would be a word. Yeah. It was her vacation home, and her niece was over there using it, and they got out in time, and they didn't die or anything like that, but it just sounded a little privileged. And maybe, like, I looked at it and thought, that's just Stevie, you know, sitting with a candle in the middle of the night. Here's my thoughts on Lahana. Like, okay. But yeah, she took some shit for it on Twitter. But that's why you should run those things past the children before you put them on the Twitter. Because the children will go, you're going to get a lot of problems for saying that, and that. Don't do it.
No.
Yeah. Like Mick Fleetwood's tweet was better. Much better. Because he's at a restaurant down on Front Street, that main street, which I've been to, apparently. I think I just caught a ferry there, so I didn't really get to hang out. But, I mean, that's just a horrible story. There's nothing positive.
No.
And, like, I don't know, like, Oprah, it looks weird. You're at a shelter handing out stuff, but meanwhile, I know you have 2,000 acres.
Right.
That did not burn up. Right. How about... This is just a thought.
You give some of that back.
Well, you could give it back. Or call the United States and get...
Call the president.
So, yeah, she could. Yeah. Call the president and get a plane. Somebody go down to REI and buy every tent they have and at least let these people get a night's sleep. I mean, camping in Hawaii can't be that horrible because it's nice weather. So at least give them like a... I don't know. I don't know how to operate all that stuff, so I shouldn't even be talking out of my ass like this, but it just seems like Oprah could be doing... It's nice you're at the shelter, handing out...
Signing autographs.
Yeah, well, she tried to bring a CBS camera crew in, too. I'm like, now I know I don't believe your intentions. No, but I also think it would be better if you were at your compound figuring out some master plan. She said she's going to make a big donation at some point, and I understand wanting to put off on that, but because you don't really know what's happening. But you could also just charter planes full of... great shit and have it sent over.
Food.
From LA. Food. Water.
Shelter.
Yeah.
Shit that people need to live.
Yeah. So that was the Queen news. Everybody else has been very, very quiet. Update! Well, wait. First, I always forget this segment. What are we watching? I watched the Johnny Manziel thing.
I watched that too, yeah.
He's a football guy. If you don't like football, he was supposed to be the next coming of greatness, and he went to Cleveland, and Cleveland got so excited. And normal people were like, do not pick him. No. He's too short. Yep. Forget about every other problem he may or may not have. He's defiant. He's not agreeable. He's too short. He's a little shit. And then they showed the draft, and the people in Cleveland are like, yeah! I'm like, oh, no. This is a terrible mistake on your guys' part.
Don't do it.
And then he didn't pan out. No. And he went out and did bad things, and now there's a documentary about his failure, but you still don't like him in the documentary. No. I haven't seen a mea culpa come around where you go, oh, okay, man, everybody's young, people can do weird shit, and maybe you drank too much or whatever. All excusable at the end of the day if you take responsibility. And he says he did it, but he doesn't look like he still cares.
No, he's winking.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Guess how much I watched the iPad plays that I was supposed to watch? 0. But you're why are you proud of that? Right. Yeah. Anyway, that, and then I started this new show. It's on Netflix called Painkiller. It's about the history of OxyContin. Yeah. It is great. Matthew Broderick's great. There's all these crazy good people in it. I didn't even heard of it. Yeah. So if you're looking for something, start it. If you're into, it's how they got OxyContin into the whole framework of the country. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. So, update! Colorado, are you awake? Guess what you're getting? You're getting a Buc-ee's.
No!
Yeah! The Buc-ee's beaver. Oh, well, he'll probably have a coat on, too, because it's cold in Colorado. Buc-ee's not used to be in places where it's...
Maybe ski boots.
Yeah. It will open its first location north of Denver metro area, near James
great.
In Johnston, near Interstate 25 and County Road 48.
Nice.
It's going to have a groundbreaking ceremony June 7th. Construction expected to last through the end of 2023. Okay. It's very exciting. You're going to have 74,000 square feet, 120 fueling stations, and of course, their award-winning clean bathrooms.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Colorado, you fired up?
Cool.
You should be. It's a wonderful place. It's a lifestyle. Somebody said I should contact them and do shows in Buc-ee's.
You should.
No, because you know why? That would slow down their commerce. They are making money hand over fist. They don't need some clown in the corner telling jokes.
Want some brisket?
Update! WeWork, the company.
No.
Adam Newman, who stole all the money and wasted all the money, spent all the money, and he got away with it, and off he went.
Of course he did.
And then the people, that Asian guy that gave him all the money, they're all still stuck with it. WeWork stock plunges after company raises substantial doubts about its future. The co-working space provider warned investors that facing losses and fleeing clients, substantial doubt exists about the company's ability to grow, to continue at all is a growing concern. Management laid out plans to improve liquidity and profitability over the next year, but Wall Street recoiled. The grave warning punctuates WeWork's disastrous run as a public company. Its shares have lost nearly 90% of their value this year, beating down the market cap to $105 million as of Wednesday afternoon. They once had a valuation of $47 billion.
Fantastic.
I went in one once to meet with a little lawyer guy, about some CD stuff down here, my stuff. And he was a youngster. And he said they were redoing his law firm's building. Fine, whatever. So he rented out a little WeWork space.
Cool.
We didn't need to do that, though.
No.
You just met me at Starbucks.
Right.
I mean, you can meet me at a bar. Maybe people don't think that looks professional to say, I'll meet you at Sam's Bar and Grill.
Right.
It doesn't bother me.
Can I have a beer while we talk?
Yeah, can I have a beer while we talk about these hard things? Hard, distribution, rights. I don't care about any of this shit.
Totally.
I just don't see the youngsters paying to rent space like even when the idea came out, it was exciting for a while. I get, you have to go back and watch the documentaries, but I mean, just as I'm going to rent you an office, people either have an office or you don't, and then you're at home.
Right.
If you have to go meet with somebody, like I would have told my little guy down here, don't spend your money on that.
No.
I don't care.
No, we're good.
No, I'll meet you at Wendy's. You can buy me some chili. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just going to be a half-hour meeting. It's stupid. Update. There's a lot of business updates this week. So if you're not a business person, close your ears for a minute. Okay. This is insane. U.S. judge sends FTX's Sam Bankman-Fried to jail over witness tampering. This little weasel shit was lucky that his parents have all that money and got him out of jail, posted the bail, and then this is what he did. He will be remanded to custody directly from a court hearing in New York. Well, he will remain ahead of his criminal trial, which is due to begin on August 2nd. Now, he was out living with his parents. He headed to jail on Friday after a judge sided with a request by federal prosecutors to revoke his bail over alleged witness tampering. Bankman-Fried was reprimanded to custody directly from a court hearing in New York and sent to Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, blah, blah, blah. They said, he did not want to do, I'm not sure. I'm trying to find out what he did, though.
Okay.
Yeah, so he'd been out on $250 million bail package, which requires him to remain at his parents' house in Palo Alto, California.
Come on.
Well, right, that's not really a punishment.
No.
It's his conversations with the media, a pattern of witness tampering, and evading his bail conditions. Member of the press, including counsel for the New York Times, had filed letters objecting to his detention, citing 3 fees. Now nobody cares. He just won't shut up.
No.
It's my dad.
He's terrible.
I do not recall, and I need an attorney. That's all. Just stop talking.
Right.
People can't do it.
No. He's an asshole.
He sent over 100 emails to the media and made over 1,000 phone calls to members of the press. The final straw, according to prosecutors, was he leaked private diary entries of his ex-girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, to the New York Times. She's also going to be involved in all this. So that's the witness tampering.
So he's a dick.
Yeah, he's a little dick. Yeah.
Wow. He's a tiny dick.
Yep. Well, he's back in prison till 2 days before my birthday. Have fun. The rest of August and September.
Nice.
Yep. Update. So Mark Zuckerberg and crazy Elon.
Yep.
They keep saying they're going to have a cage match, right?
Okay.
I would like to see them cage fight. I do not want to see them cage fight one another. I want to see one of them get in the ring with Conor McGregor and really take a beating just for my entertainment. And I think I'd rather start with Elon. Yeah. They've been teasing that they're going to have this cage fight. What's his face even built the octagon at his house?
Stop it.
Zuckerberg, yeah.
Of course he did.
Yeah. The long hype possibility of a cage match between the tech giants appear to be dismissed because Musk allegedly delayed the anticipation showdown in the ring. I think we all agree that Elon isn't serious. It's time to move on, Zuckerberg said and wrote on Threads. By the way, Threads is already not working.
No.
I know, I read a big article. I'll have to print that one out. But
Anything on it.
well, I haven't done anything because I wanted to see it. Are we all leaving Twitter? Are we? Well, no. Nobody's. No. I think it's too much. We can't keep. I don't know. I mean, I don't really like either one of these guys, but I don't know. I guess I could just stay on Instagram. And
Which is also
the facial book.
Zuckerberg.
I know it's Zuckerberg. There's no escaping these people.
You gotta go with
Unless I go back to just chain mail and actually mail letters to people.
You gotta go with the Chinese. Go to
TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah. TikTok's just hard because you can't. It's so many videos, and sometimes I just don't feel like making a video. Yeah.
Fair enough.
They're not going to have. Zuckerberg said he offered a real date. Dana White offered to make this a legit competition for charity. Elon won't confirm a date. Then he says he needs surgery, and now asked to do a practice round in my backyard.
Come on.
If Elon ever gets serious, he knows how to reach me. Otherwise, it's time to move on. I'm going to focus on competing with people who take the sport seriously.
He's another guy that owns all of Hawaii.
Yeah. Mark owns a lot of Hawaii, and I think it's Maui. Is that Google where him and his wife bought all that land, and then they keep buying more and more and more. And then I don't know. The locals are just going to get run out. I'm very scared for them. That Kauai he owns. So Oprah gets Maui.
He owns
Zuckerberg
700
700
acres.
acres.
He bought a sugar plantation. He's an asshole.
Well, the thing is, you're creating your own jail. You're boxing yourself in. Okay, Oprah, so you have 2,000 acres.
Right.
You're never gonna have a neighbor, don't you? I like my neighbors. Yeah. I just you just become in these enclosures that then you start building walls and I don't know. I would not enjoy it.
No.
We're moving on to holy shit. They found it. They found a pack of endangered gray wolves roaming California, Sierra Nevada. Yeah, it's awesome. They're so, I mean, I don't know, a lot of farmers would say that's not awesome, but a newly identified pack of endangered gray wolves is roaming in California, Sierra Nevada, at least 200 miles away from the nearest known pack, according to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. The pack was spotted in Sequoia National Forest, where wildlife technicians found tracks and collected scat and their hair samples and for genetic testing. It's the southernmost point in the state where a pack has been identified. They've identified at least 5 members of the pack, 2 females, 2 males, and their mother, a direct descendant of California's first documented wolves in the state's recent history. There were essentially none left. Even though they're native to California, gray wolves, there were none left by the 1920s. So then they started bringing them all back, and here we go. Now, is that a good news or bad news? I don't know. I don't know enough about what's going to happen with these wolves.
Right.
The newly discovered pack just joins, just 3 known packs are living in Northern California. Wow. That's it.
That's crazy.
Yep. So, that's kind of exciting, though.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know. I don't think I'd want to see a wolf in the yard because I think it would eat the cats.
You do have foxes.
The foxes don't eat the cats, though.
No.
Right. The foxes are cute, too. And I like to hear them. It sounds like they're laughing. It's like... That's the noises. If you've never heard a noise a fox makes, go on YouTube and just put sound a fox makes.
Oh, my God.
It's really... Sometimes it can sound like a baby. It's all over the map.
That's great.
This is... Holy shit, they found it. This is bizarre.
Okay.
Scientists have discovered an ancient skull in China like no other they've seen before. The 300,000-year-old skull, child's skull, first discovered in the Halong Dong back in 2019, among other fossil remains. The Chinese scientists have struggled to match them to any known lineage. Mm-hmm. We are either missing a branch from the human family tree or we need to add one.
Oh.
It's a whole different person.
Yeah.
While the skull had similarities to early modern humans, there's a lack of a chin and was likened to an extinct species of human in an Asian town known as Denisovan. Denisovan. Okay. The shape has never been recorded in the late middle something. It's too hard. Yeah, it's all Asia, like Chinese towns and stuff. Mm-hmm. But this is a whole different head.
Cool.
Yeah, who were these people?
Right.
Freaky.
I like it.
Freaky.
I like it.
This is also, holy shit, they found it. Then we're moving on. Freaky. Mm-hmm. A large creature with 20 arms.
What?
Found lurking in the Antarctic Sea. It's a new species.
20 arms?
20 arms. It looks like one of the crazy, crazy giant squids, but more terrifying.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a 20-armed creature with a distinctive body shape. It's a brand new species. The researchers trawled the Southern Ocean on several research expeditions between 2008 and 2017, according to a study published on July 14th. They were searching for a group of cryptic sea animals known as, forget it, I can't say the real word, but it's the Antarctic feather stars. That's what they were looking for. Wow. Feather stars are large animals that can live anywhere from 65 feet down to 6,500 feet underwater and have otherworldly appearances when swimming. They're both are invertebrate ocean animals. Feather stars are distinct, and they collected 8 of those while they were out there, but then they found this other freaky thing.
Wow.
Yeah, 20 arms. I mean, you might even think it was a plant. I would think it was like coral or something. Like, I don't know.
Looks like a jellyfish.
Or kelp. It looks like a jellyfish / kelp / yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was found, oh, that was it. That's the story. Wow. Go look at it, though. I'll put it in the notes. Freaky. This is why the ocean is so freaky, just in general. That thing's down there.
That's crazy.
And there I am in a kayak,
Being
waving to some kid. Careful of the sharks. Okay, bye.
Look for fins.
How much is it if I go past an hour? Okay, I'll come right back. Promise. Oh, my God. Let's get to some news, shall we?
Okay.
This is kind of sad times for you, Milwaukee.
What? I love Milwaukee.
I love Milwaukee. I love their hotel, the Pfister Hotel. Mm-hmm. I love everything on the big beer street. I love their bratwurst. Mm-hmm. But here's the bad news for Milwaukee.
Okay.
It's the bad news just for towns that don't have a shit ton of money. Milwaukee brewers could start the moving process soon. 2 southern cities seen as serious contenders. Now, I have heard...
Oh, no.
In mixed company down in Nashville that we are getting an MLB team. Like, that's already been floated out a lot.
Really?
I did not realize they were going to go steal the Brewers. I thought it was an additional team.
And Colton's gone. So.
Colton already left, yeah. He's with a deal to bring hundreds of millions in renovations for their stadium at a stalemate. A new report claims that the Milwaukee Brewers could be looking for a new home outside of Wisconsin as soon as this fall.
Oh, my God.
Holy shit.
Wow.
The Brewers have been one of the longest tenured professional sports teams in the state of Wisconsin. However, that run-in as one of the stalwart baseball clubs in the Midwest seems to be in danger due to a divide between the organization and certain members of the state government. Wow. This is where they're going to hold you up for money and say, you need to buy us this or we're leaving. Right. They do it in every town.
Yep.
That little guy, Robert Reich something, he was the secretary of, like, I don't know, money. Just money. He did the greatest little thing on Twitter explaining how all that shit works. I should find it and put it in the show notes. But about how these towns make the city pay for the thing, or then they threaten to leave, and blah, blah, blah.
We'll find it.
As a small team market, the Brewers are not in a position to build a new stadium or get the local funding for it anytime soon. That is why Governor Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers proposed to add to the state's new budget as much as $290 million in public funding for American Field Family to ensure that the Brewers remain one of the major brands in the state. $290 million to get them to stay.
Wow.
Public funding?
That's a lot.
Do you guys want to do that?
Right.
Meanwhile, what are the owners chipping in?
Exactly.
Right. At least in Nashville, they did for the Titans. They made them chip in.
Right.
Unfortunately, state and local officials have balked at approving the deal, despite public urging from MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred. Now, with the deal for renovations nowhere closer to getting done, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reported on Friday that the organization could be in the process for looking a new home. If they don't produce the funding, if state and local officials don't produce enough funding for the stadium renovations, sources acknowledge the dynamic. The claim reports that Charlotte, North Carolina, and Nashville, Tennessee are early frontrunners as a potential landing spot if the Brewers took the bold step of moving.
Wow.
Yep, North Carolina and Tennessee have 2 of the 10 fastest growing economies in the United States and have been adding franchises in some other sports as well.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
They have a lease. The Brewers have a lease till 2023.
Wow.
What are you going to do, break your lease and run?
That's awful.
It's terrible.
They love it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sucks.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Yep. Not all stories can be happy. This is just what's happening in America, people.
Yep.
You know, wake up. Here's a little something that's happening that
Oh, no.
I'm just going to say I do not understand why people have not understood yet that if you hire Harry and Meghan, they don't have any discernible talents.
No.
So you're going to have to help them. Well, Prince Harry, first of all,
You're going to feed their lines.
I never even heard of a chief impact officer until they, quote, said Harry is one.
Right.
Right? So the staff at a California tech firm they pay Prince Harry a 7-figure salary. They've turned on him as 100 of them are laid off. Workers say the royal is a distraction and no one knows what he actually does. As one suggests, his responsibilities are 0 things. Staff at the life coach company. I don't know I'll find out what it's called.
Life coach.
Yeah, it's called BetterUp.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's supposed to be a mental health thing, and he's supposed to be telling everybody how mentally healthy he is. Meanwhile,
He's not.
I turn on the Oprah thing, and you're crying, and
There
like
you are,
it's just
narcissist.
calling people racist. Then you say you didn't say it. Like, get your shit straight first. But anyway, staff at a life coaching company have said they started questioning the Duke of Sussex work there. They've turned on the Duke, who reportedly earned $7 million in the after more than 100 San Francisco-based BetterUp employees were laid off last week. The staff claimed he'd become a major distraction, and the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Wow. That's
Well, right, they hire him because everybody, you've now heard of BetterUp because you hired Harry.
Exactly.
That's all.
Yep.
He's just buying a name.
gonna be on a stamp.
Another BetterUp employee asked about Harry's day-to-day responsibilities. From what I see, I'm going to go with 0. I mean, you'd hate to be laid off and you think they're paying him all this money.
Right.
The employees spoke out as media experts have suggested Harry and his wife Meghan should rebrand themselves to salvage their faltering Hollywood careers. Recent setbacks have blown their attempt to crack America off course, and celebrities are reportedly fearful of endangering their popularity by being too close to them. Their Spotify deal was axed, and Meghan was criticized by top Hollywood agent Jeremy Zimmer as not a great audio talent or necessarily any kind of talent.
Oh, my God. Great.
Somebody said that they should change direction and explore a reality show. Oh, come on. That's so 1990s.
Right.
That's early 2000s. Don't do that. Then somebody said she's going to start up her blog. No one reads blogs anymore.
No.
It sounds like something but the problem is I know too much about all that stuff. But that is an idea that I'm like, why don't we do a blog? Kathleen, nobody's read that shit. And she said she would like to do her blog because it would give people an authentic insight into their lives and would take all the power away from the tabloids.
Wow.
But she calls the tabloids when she goes out.
Exactly.
I mean,
What was that Coke deal last week?
I don't know why she was parading around in some camel winter coat with this giant scarf on. I mean, it was obviously on purpose, but you look idiotic because it's 72 degrees outside.
Yes.
And you have on like it's a beautiful coat, whoever made it, but it's not for normal people either. It's like $13
No.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Imagine if you traveled like I do in a camel coat. That thing would be so filthy. Yeah. Oh, let me get down the jetway here at LaGuardia in my beautiful camel coat while it's snowing and sleeting and shit outside. Yeah. No, he's not. I don't know. I think you just got to say, we're sorry, we made a mistake. We're not paying him anymore. Finish what you paid him.
Bye-bye.
According to the Daily Beast, the Duke has become a target for angry BetterUp staff. The former employee said he initially thought Harry's arrival was cool, but they added that the staff soon began to find him a distraction and fearing his ongoing drama might impact the company's reputation. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Because if you're supposed to be this mental health, whatever the hell you're is, life coaching, he needs a life coach. Why aren't you coaching him?
Right.
He's off in Singapore playing polo. Where are your children?
And he finally looked happy.
Where's little Archie? Who flies to Singapore to play polo? Can't you do that in Santa Barbara? Yes, you can. I know you can.
He doesn't realize he hates his wife.
Yeah, he's trying to sneak out. Sorry, darling, I've got a polo match.
I'll be right back.
Turns out it's in Singapore. In March, he appeared at the company's Uplift conference where he talked about what gets him out of bed every day.
Come on.
He said he liked to meditate and about the dangers of burnout. You have never had a professional job. No. You cannot sit there and talk about burnout.
No.
You were a royal person.
It's offensive.
So those people are pissed. I'd be pissed too.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you can actually see, you don't know all these sneaky people that are making their 6-7 figures. They're little CEO people, but you do know Harry. You've heard of that. You know that guy in cubicle 4 is full of shit.
Exactly. Get a check.
Let's talk about this. Oh my God, this is not funny, but it really did freak me out. The headline just made me, I shouldn't say laugh, but it did. Because it doesn't seem like it's possible, but it did happen. Okay. Woman attacked by, quote, vicious otter. Quote, I did not think I was going to make it out of that river.
An otter?
An otter.
Wow.
I thought they were nice. I see one in the cove all the time.
They're adorable.
It seems adorable, and it doesn't do nothing. It just goes and gets off the... Yeah, I don't... What started as a fun, relaxing evening of inner tubing down the Jefferson River turned into a traumatic experience for Jen Royce and her two friends as they were attacked by an otter. Wow. All three... You should see... Well, go look online, or it's in the notes. The injuries are insane. It's really bad.
The big teeth like a beaver.
Yeah, all three women were treated for their injuries, some of which were more serious than the other. She recounted the incident in a Facebook post where she said she called the otter vicious and relentless as it left her with more stitches than she could count. It's all over her face.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he just ripped her face apart. Three women were in the middle of a wide stretch of the river on Wednesday evening when the otter appeared behind one of them and attacked. I didn't even get the chance to get the words, there is an otter behind you, out before it attacked her.
Want to pet it?
Well, that's what I would have went. Really? I'll get a selfie with it. Where is it? I would not think they would do this. Royce's face, hands, ears, hands, and legs and ankle were bit by the otter as it attacked for about 5 minutes. When Royce attempted to kick the otter off her friend, it continued to attack her elsewhere on her body. Eventually, the three women managed to get to shore in different areas, and the otter swam away. This lady says, without any exaggeration, God's honest truth, I did not think I was going to make it out of that river. I had no clue if my friends were going to make it, but by the grace of God, we did. Between the three of them, they had one cell phone, and they were able to call 911 using SOS mode, but it was difficult to locate them as they were in such a remote area of the river, which flows through a portion of southwestern Montana, eastern Montana. I was covered in blood, and it just kept pouring out of my face and my nose. It was cold. We were wet. It was dark. A little less than an hour, they saw red and blue lights, but it was not close enough for them to make contact. One of the women made the tough decision to leave the other two and run more than 2 miles to meet the rescue team. This is the worst tubing trip ever. This is just, holy shit, we're being attacked by this otter, and now that we're too far in the woods for to get a phone call to. At that point, Royce said she was extremely faint and didn't know what was happening. She told her friend that she loved her and to watch over her kids, as she didn't think she would make it if she closed her eyes. In an attempt to stay awake, she focused on the weeds in front of her and counted backwards from 99 to refocus her mind and remain calm. I would have never thought of that. No. This lady should get Harry's money because she knows how to tell people to calm down.
She meditates.
That's a wonderful life coach thing. If you're freaked out, start it. I never heard that.
No.
I mean, it's like survival things, but whatever. When the rescue teams finally reached, she was overcome with emotion. I can't explain how feeling those lights felt. I was hopeful again. They found us. We weren't alone anymore. They were helicoptered to a hospital. I'm lucky. I'm grateful I'm alive. In an updated post, she's returned home. Her wounds are healing well. No sign of infection so far. They've now put up signs telling people, while attacks from otters are rare, otters can be protective of their young, especially at close distances. They give birth to their young in April. Well, it's August.
Right.
And with their young in the water during the summer. They can also be protective of food resources, especially when those resources are scarce. So, heads up, because I go out in my little kayak in this lake and I've seen an otter and beavers. And I would just, if I could, I would go right on up and go, hey, not even thinking that little son of a bitch could eat me alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
I've never heard of it either.
No.
I didn't think they were like mean. Okay, so this kind of fascinated me. Okay. The number one worst state to retire, and it's not New York or California.
You're kidding.
No. I would have thought they would have said California.
Let me guess.
This is how, hold on. This is how they ranked them. Okay. It's based on affordability. Mm-hmm. 40% of it's affordability. Okay. 25% is well-being. Mm-hmm. Healthcare and quality costs, 20% counts. Weather, they only did 10% for weather. There's a lot of retirees. Right. Why do you think Florida and Arizona are crowded? Right. Because the old people want it to be hot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes their aches go away.
The overall last ranking is Alaska.
That's awful.
Because of the weather. But you said you only counted 10%. Right.
And there's no people there.
Well, right. Winter temperatures can fall as low as 50 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit in some parts of the state.
Where there's no people.
Right. No, it's the old joke I used to do about Sarah Palin when she would brag about being the governor of Alaska. I'm like, yeah, but Sarah, there's more reindeer than people in the state of Alaska. I would have been more impressed if she said she was the game warden. I would have been like, that can't be easy up there. Those moose get into those towns and they get into tiny stores. I don't think you printed out my list carefully, though. Dang it. I may have to save this one for next week, even though I said it in the title.
Hang on, let's see.
It didn't print it out right.
Best and worst.
Best and worst states to retire. It was from
It's right here, Yahoo Finance.
CNBC.
Okay.
California is the third worst state to retire.
Well, it's cost of living.
It's too closely behind New York. Yeah, I got to print this out.
I got it right here.
Got the list? Okay. Yeah. What's the best ones to retire? Because I think Missouri, my little state, made it in the best. Well, I can't read it over here.
Oh, just turn your phone off. Good.
Yes, the phone is off.
Number one?
Number one to retire? Where?
You know where it is.
No, I don't.
Iowa.
Oh, Iowa, right. Boy, well, that is not taking weather into account.
No.
You're going to freeze your ass off in Iowa in the winter. Des Moines' fun. Davenport's fun.
Okay. Iowa.
I get it, but it's cold as shit.
Number two is Delaware.
I don't have an opinion about Delaware.
No, I have a lot of opinions of Delaware.
I don't know anything about it.
West Virginia.
West Virginia, maybe.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Number four.
Number 4, Missouri!
Oh, yay!
At least our weather isn't as bad as Iowa's. I'm just saying. And it's not as bad as Delaware's.
Number 5 is Mississippi.
5 is Mississippi.
And the bottom 5.
The bottom 5 are
Alaska.
Then New York.
Then California.
Then California.
Washington.
Really? Oh, and Seattle and all that getting too expensive?
Probably.
Go ahead.
And then
Massachusetts?
Mm-hmm.
Bad to retire? Well, it's too cold.
Yeah, there's too many people. But Cape Cod is lovely.
If you get out to the Cape, oh my God, go to the lobster place, the Lobster Pot, get yourself a lobster roll. Sometimes in the Northeast, it makes me laugh when the accents are super harsh, because as a Midwest person, I don't know if they're actually complimenting me or they're going to punch me in the face. Like, I went down to get coffee the one night in just the hotel in Boston, and I went down, and the lady, I don't know, like in her mid-50s, I had on a Bonnaroo t-shirt, and she goes, "I like your shit." But the way she said it, I was like, fuck, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? She goes, "There's a lot of color on that." But it was like accusatory. Like, I didn't make the shirt, ma'am. Right. It's just a t-shirt that says Bonnaroo. Yeah, it was my favorite one, now that you bring it up. But I think that might be the last story.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I could do one more, but it's not fun. That's why I don't want to do it.
You're saving a shitty story for next week?
I'm not saving a shitty one. It's something to talk about. I'll do this one. Yeah, we'll do this one. And then, yeah, because I did goof off a lot last week. So this podcast might be a tiny bit shorter than some of the others, but I'm allowed to have 2 days of vacation. And I don't check my phone as much, which is great. So this Airbnb thing, yeah, like my neighbors here, thank God they did not do it, but they were going to sell their house to this cheese whiz, because I had to talk to this asshole. Yeah, he was so cheesy. Anyway, as an Airbnb deal. And this is becoming a problem now. If you live in a place that's like where tourists want to come, or vacationers or whatever, people are renting everything out. So like even down in the Ozarks, everybody from St. Louis or Kansas City that would come down has a little condo or a little house. Well, now you don't even know who's in the condos around you. Everything's being rented out. It's bachelorette parties. People are shit-faced. Shit. And I don't want to live next to one where every weekend there's a new bachelor party in the Cove that at the house. Right. I get it in places where there's more space, I guess. I don't know. Is the Airbnb dream dead? Are we going to fizzle out? Is it going to fizzle out?
I hope
so. Airbnb?
I hope so.
Short-term rentals are going strong, but being a host has become much harder than it used to be. This is where the lawyer side of my dad being a lawyer side comes in. Anytime, and I've used VRBO. I use it all the time for all kinds of road stuff. But I always wonder if there's cameras everywhere. I do think about that. I mean, I'm pretty boring. What do you want to film me drinking a seltzer? Right. Like, but I just don't. I don't know how much I trust it. Like, you would be so able to sue Marriott if they did that. Right. But if it's an Airbnb person, they could go, "Oh, I didn't even realize it was on." Right. You know.
The camera that I'm filming.
So last summer, Joan Robertson and her husband Mark finally realized this year's long goal of buying a second home in the Sunbelt to escape the brutal winters in Minnesota. Persuaded by one of their sons, who loves amusement parks, they homed in Kissimmee, Florida, just south of Orlando, and bought a 3-bedroom townhouse in a gated community with resort access for $295,000. To help pay up the mortgage, they plan to operate it as a short-term rental. Mm-hmm. See, wow. No, you can't. Like my money, the accountant will always say, you can't buy these things with the intention of that absolutely being, it's a bonus. It's only a bonus if you rented it out. You can't count on that money. They upgraded the 2000-era mustard-covered walls and oak paneling with pastel white paint, hired a property management company to handle the day-to-day logistics, and booked a photographer to make their listing stand out in a sea of options on Airbnb, Booking.com, and VRBO. In October, they put their home online, hoping to attract other snowbirds, birds, or visitors to Walt Disney World, which is just 10 minutes away. In 10 months, things haven't had it planned out as they hoped. We have absolutely zero bookings in August. The summer's extreme. Well, I mean, I feel terrible for these people, but August in Orlando, yeah. I mean, I don't know, maybe people will go to Disney World and sweat their ass off. I would not particularly choose, I would think it'd be busy in, December, January, February, March, when it's cold.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when the kids are in school.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. The summer's extremely slow, she said. She isn't alone. Founded in 2008, and then they go through the whole thing about Airbnb. Online, it's been dubbed an Aaron bust. Creeping angst about the phenomenon started spreading last on the internet. What's going on with Airbnb? No bookings at all. Is Airbnb in a death spiral? Well, I have used VRBO a lot more
Yeah.
than I've ever used Airbnb. I don't know why. It's just what.
I think it depends on the area. They market them differently, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. And most don't have their properties on both.
The pandemic has a lot to do with the turmoil. At first, people sought sanctuary from crowded cities and relished the prospect of a yard, a home, and an office, spiked demands. Well, that's the other thing, too. I did wonder, like, during the pandemic, snuck over to Hilton Head because I'd never been there. And I wanted to go golf. So I made my little friend Dorf go over to Hilton Head and golf. Well, all of these people, I've never seen anything so crowded. And then I golfed with these two old people from Baltimore, and they kept saying that they've lived down there forever, that the pandemic, all those people came down and bought up every condo.
Right.
My question is, did they keep it? Or now that we're not in a pandemic anymore, and then do you go, shit, we have that condo that we bought, and we don't really go there a lot. You know, I don't know. I don't know if it can make it. Yeah, I'd like to see what their stock is worth. Airbnb has made efforts to help host, including doubling the number of support agents and creating a new role of global head of hosting. It offers features to protect hosts and their homes, and then the insurance liability. I mean, I think that too. Like, I think of that because of my dad's stuff, and then I think, oh, if you have a pool, what if somebody drowns in your pool? Did you tell the insurance agent you were renting it out?
Right.
It can get nutty.
Yeah.
Making good money from a short-term rental isn't easy anymore, as leaving the key in the mailbox and clean sheets. And Airbnb's popularity has increased, so guests have expectations. The surge in demand has led to high turnover, and many hosts have come to depend on management companies to deal with the cleaning and the maintenance and have increased their cleaning fees as a result. Yeah, the cleaning fees are ridiculous. The full fees on all of VRBO are ridiculous. Yeah. Like, it's a whole nother night.
Exactly.
After you pay for this and that and this and that.
$200.
Yeah. High-end kitchen appliances and modern furnishings are the new normal. Not for the little cabin I've rented in Gatlinburg.
No?
Nope. Amenities such as pickleball courts and their ability to bring pets. Okay, well, I tried because of my parents and the dog. We were going to go do a family thing and meet up and online. Nobody took dogs. No. Or you had to leave some crazy amount of deposit, which, knowing my parents' dog, that would probably not be a ridiculous request. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And pickleball courts, everybody's just pissed off because they're loud. And it starts at 6:45 a.m. The one lady was saying she was complaining on 60 Minutes or something. It's the noise. It's a... Yeah. Tennis is more muted. Yeah. I don't know.
It's like high-strung ping pong.
Yeah. It's like a giant wiffle ball on a ping pong paddle, except harder. I'm just reading a little bit more of this because I didn't go through the whole thing because I was in a kayak trying not to get eaten by a shark. I don't know. I'm just thinking I don't know how much longer. Is it really worth it to these people? How much? Whatever you do, I don't think it should just not be, you can't think of it as a for sure income.
Right.
If you get it, great. Right. It's a bonus. But if you don't, now I'm going to go watch this too. Because I want to see, and then I'm going to talk with you guys about it. There's a thing on YouTube. This is fascinating to me. There's a farmer who lives off-grid in remote Appalachia with no government ID, reveals what it's like to survive without running water, electricity, or shoes as he sets out to find a wife to share his unique lifestyle.
Stop it.
Well,
what?
I don't know. He lives off the grid in rural Kentucky.
Oh my God.
He's the star of a new YouTube video. I gotta go watch. His name's Titus Morris. Been living in a remote part of the mountains for 8 years with no electricity, water, phone, car, or even shoes. It's an hour-long documentary. I want to see it. It tells you what his day-to-day life looks like. He farms potatoes, does the laundry, and in the neighboring river, and feeds his horses among daily tasks. So what you're looking for, sir, is not a wife. No. You would like a pioneer. You want a pilgrim. And I don't know how many pilgrim people are left. Anybody? My friend Amy, she's unfortunately married to Drew for this man. She's not single. Right. She might. She really likes to make the economy, the environment right. This guy's really using his stuff a lot. Amy'd be very proud of his recycling. Fortunately for this man, Amy is not available. His outgoings includes $90 a month for a landline telephone, which has been installed in a shed by the trailer home so he can share it with a neighbor. A landline is $90 a month?
Where?
Well, maybe they had to bring it too far.
Maybe.
He was brought up in a very religious family. He's continued living as simply as possible. While his parents have a computer and electricity, he's decided to take things back to the basics even further. He says he lives in a similar way to the Amish, but he does not follow their religion and practice pure Christianity instead. Adding to the mystery, he has no official form of ID. His parents got him a social security number for him as a child, but he never signed it, and later decided to revoke it.
Come on.
Can you do that?
I don't know.
Can you cancel yourself?
I don't know.
He tells viewers, I don't exist in the eyes of government, but I do exist in the lives of people that know me and my Father in heaven.
Oh, come on.
Well,
Come on.
in terms of the home base, he lives on a 50-acre plot with about 20 of the acres being open pasture and 30 being woodland. At the beginning of the documentary, the outdoorsman gives a quick tour of his small home. He explains that it's a little messy because he has a friend staying with him. It has a kitchen, dining space, and an area to sleep in. None of the appliances work. A normal kitchen had been installed.
Come on.
And he disconnected it. He disconnected the electricity when he moved in.
He's crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy.
You know what he is?
If this is real,
He's a serial killer.
he's not a serial
He's a
killer.
serial killer.
He won't have the tools to kill people.
Oh, I bet he does. He has no identity.
He does not eat any meat. This is in line with his religious beliefs. Well, what? If you're a Christian, you can eat meat?
Yes.
He does not eat, and he's never had dairy or egg products growing up. And you're out here being like a farm boy? You're not going to eat eggs? Mm-hmm. He makes red potatoes, purple onions, and kale with a sprinkle of pink Himalayan sea salt for flavor. He says his plant-based diet has not impacted his athleticism, and throughout the documentary, he demonstrates his strength, doing everything from climbing trees to backwards, rolling off his horse, to scaling a rope into the loft of his barn.
This is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Well, now I'm going to go watch it, though.
Sure.
Yes, I want to see if this is real or a trick to get YouTube views.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's got a small outhouse. If it gets super cold, he'll start wearing his shoes. He said it's not healthy to go barefoot in the cold. It's really not healthy to go barefoot at any time.
Exactly.
No.
Come on.
He said a refrigerator would be handy, but he's not doing the electricity thing. Yeah. Well, we're going to go.
You don't have to.
Termites?
You don't have to refrigerate.
I'm going to go watch it. It's on YouTube.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Titus Morris. That's all you got to put in. And we're going to see what this man does. And we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to watch a shit ton more episodes of Painkillers. It's so good.
I'll start
The
watching.
show. Yeah, you got to start watching it. It's really, really good. And this is what's happening, termites. Yes. Well, I'm leaving. I'm going to hang out.
What's happening today?
What's happening today? In the Kathleen Madigan store? A hat? I forgot.
Today.
Okay. The Dock and Bar tees are back in stock. And then there's the new hat is available, which is super exciting.
Never before seen.
Never before seen. It's available after 4 p.m.
Yeah.
God, I was like, what is happening today? I don't know. This is, we keep adding more shows. I will read them all quickly. And then but the ones for next year are getting so awesome.
It'll be so fun.
Yeah.
Think of the tour names.
I'm still thinking of tour names. How about, my friend thought of Midwest Rodeo. I didn't mind. I like that. My sister said Potluck. Midwest Potluck. That's
I like that one.
Potluck.
Yeah.
And make it bring your own jokes.
Bring a hot dish. Boom.
Bring a hot dish. Boy, that would really drive the ushers wacky if people started bringing me hot dishes. Yeah, which I would love. There's nothing I love more than anything in a crock pot. But here we're blasting off. September 7th is the blast off. Boise, Idaho, Reno, Nevada, Hershey, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Eau Claire, Madison, Chicago, Richmond, Charlotte, Des Moines, Kansas City, Virginia Beach, Washington, D.C., Fort Worth. I haven't been there in so long, and I love Fort Worth.
That'll be fun.
Yes. Houston, love it. St. Louis, obviously home. Denver, then the Villages. I think I've already sold it out. I don't want to brag, but I've sold all the villages. It's such a wonderful little theater. Cutler Bay, Florida, Eugene, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington. Washington. All right, termites. Sorry if this one was a little short. I got a little sidetracked with stupid summer fun. I'm now off to go hang out with my parents for the weekend.
Again?
Yeah, because I'm going to be really busy, and I'm not going to be able to be just hanging out with them as much as I probably would if I could. So, yeah, I'll squeeze it in.
Great.
Yeah.
What are you going to do at the Ozarks?
Me and Jack and Vicky. Well, we're definitely going to probably go to the Willows, our favorite restaurant, out in the woods. Nice. Yeah, it's out in the woods. I love it. I don't know. Maybe get them up to the golf course. We'll see how hot it is. I'm afraid it's going to be very, very hot. Like 95 hot.
Yeah, stupid hot.
And they don't do so well in that kind of heat. Neither do I, for that matter. But
No.
yeah. Okay, termites. That's it. I'll see you on the road. Thank you for everything and the gifts and all that. And happy summer. Yeah, I'll be here next week too, though.
When's your fantasy draft? Hang on.
Fantasy draft is in a week.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are you going to pick besides Tommy? Tommy's gone.
I'm going to pick Tom Brady again.
He's not playing.
I know. It's like my friend Kathy keeps picking Drew Brees. Kath, he's not. He's done. He's done. I don't know. I haven't really thought about football yet, even though I did have Good Morning Football on this morning, but then I got distracted. I don't know. Somebody not named Tannehill for my quarterback. Even though he's seemingly kind of a psycho jerk, I'll take Aaron Rodgers if he's available. I'm a whore. You don't have to be the perfect person. You just got to be able to throw the ball. I don't care what you do in your off hours, you bizarre person.
What about Mahomes? He's your guy.
Oh, Mahomes, yeah, but I will never get him. I never get him.
Just in general.
Why never get first choice? No, I always end up like at third, which is fine. But first, yeah, especially if my nephew's in it, because they're in love with Patrick Mahomes. It's more than just he's a great fantasy thing.
I like Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce's great. I don't know. I have some major research to do. That's a reminder to all you termites who are playing fantasy football. It's right around the corner.
Yep.
Just don't wait till the day of. You'll regret it. So my friend Drew goes, I just have a problem getting my head around the whole thing. I'm like, you're a financial advisor. He goes, well, like you say, don't pick that quarterback if he doesn't have any receivers. And I said, I would not take Devontae Adams because you got Tannehill throwing to him. What's Devontae supposed to do about that?
You don't
Nothing.
have Devontae. You don't.
Right. But
Devontae has Garoppolo throwing to him.
well, Drew just looks at his stats. I don't know. Whatever. All right, termites, that's it. Go watch the Johnny Manziel thing if you're bored on Untold, and start Painkillers if you're curious about how Oxycontin got so crazy in this country. It's so far, it's just been spectacular. Yeah. And I'm like, how did I not even hear this was coming? Anyway. All right, that's it. Night-night, termites.